Aluhu. El Shaddai Lahenu Walea Botenu, Abiyama Mabiyis Kagwab Yako, Atakwados, Weshemeka Kwados, Banu Shemeka Lulam Waye, Weshamanu Bene Israel, El Shabbat La So, El Shabbat Ledura Tambi Olam, Beni Bene Israel, Oti Olam, Kishe Shek Ami Masad El Shaddai Wa Shemaim, Wa'el Ta'adet Ubayom Mashbi Shabbat Wa Inafash, Baruch Shemeka, Baruch Yemeneka, Baruch Turateka, Baruch Kudushateka. El Shaddai Melech, El Shaddai Malak, El Shaddai Himlok Lolam Wahe, Baruch Shem Kabol Makuto Lolam Wahe, Baruch Kabol Lohim Min Kumon Meleka Yom, Aluhu Lolam Wahe. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who by no means clear the guilty, visiting iniquities of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect, for all his ways of justice, the God of faithfulness, and without iniquity, just and right is he. Shavuote. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, my father, Chief of Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters, I say unto the tongue of our forefathers, Shabbat Shalom. Shavuot Shalom.
Shavuot Shalom.
This is the 50th day, and we were commanded to count the Omer, 7 Shabbats. It was a command. It was a command to count that Omer. 49 days. On the 50th day is another holy convocation. Shavuot, meaning the Feast of Weeks. Okay, and we are ordained to have another holy convocation. A holy convocation, which is a holy gathering. You cannot observe the day staying home. You cannot observe Shabbat staying home. We were ordained by the commandment of God to have a holy gathering. A holy gathering speaking about holy things. You just don't come up here speaking about things that have nothing to do with God.
Right.
Okay? We don't come up here speaking about current events. Can't talk about current events. Everything that we speak about has to be what we read, has to be about what we read here in the book. In the book. That's it. I can't come up here and talk about current events or why this guy did this and why the government is the way it is and why. That's not what I was taught, and that's not what the book teaches me. Because in Isaiah 58, it states that you should not speak your own words on the Shabbat. Today is also a Shabbat, but it ain't the holy Shabbat. It's not to be compared to the holy Shabbat that comes every 7th day. It's just a Shabbat. Not the Shabbat. Which means a rest day. Rest from work. Rest from work. I'm not washing no dishes. You know, I heard brothers say, there's nothing wrong with me rinsing a spoon out. To rinse is to wash. Don't play word games, man. Don't play word games. All right, you don't want dirty dishes in the sink? Get you a plastic bag. Put all the dirty dishes in that plastic bag.
Or use plastic
and close it up. Or use plastic utensils.
Get everything plastic.
Or use plastic utensils.
You ain't got to worry about it.
You ain't got to worry about it.
It's a way to come.
But you hear the mindset of these people. When your mindset is not towards God, you start voicing things that's contrary and opposite from what you read. In time, you will learn to accept this. In time, you will learn to accept everything. Because guess what? You know what the Psalm said? David said, "O Lord God, thou art just in everything that thou doest." You heard what King David said? He said, oh Lord, he said, you are just. Thou art just in everything that thou doest. Which means whatever God said, he accepted it. He accepted it without complaints, without criticism,
feeling away,
without adding in your emotions and how you think and your mindset and what you think. Do we understand and know that what we think and how we think and how I feel? You think God cares about that?
That's evil. That's evil.
Do we really think God cares about that? God don't care about that, man. No, God don't care about that.
Follow his ordinance.
There are laws in here. See, one thing we got to realize that these laws was given to a free people. To accomplish all these laws, 100%, we cannot be here. We are subjected under a different government. We are subjected under a different government. That's not the laws of this land.
You can't stone nobody.
That's right. You can't stone nobody and you can't kill nobody.
Go ahead and stone somebody.
All right? You go ahead and stone somebody and kill somebody, you're going to jail. You go ahead and do it. And when they report it to the authorities, you better be on the run. Take flight, brother. You better run. You better run. Not to say that he was wrong, because God didn't say he was wrong. But God said to what he told Zedekiah, he said, when you go to Babylon, no, what he told him to do in Babylon, he said, accept their basically God told Zedekiah, when you go to Babylon, accept their government, accept their rules, pray for their peace. Live under their rules. He didn't tell you to go serve idols.
No. Make it clear.
I don't have to go and serve their gods and their idols, but I have to confine myself to the authorities, to their rules. Can't do my own thing there. Because when I had liberty to serve God, I rejected it. I rejected God. So now today, what? We are put here to prove ourselves, to prove our loyalty to God. This is the proving ground. Reminds me of the time in the wilderness, when the nation of Israel was going through that wilderness, where God put them through those rough and rugged terrains to prove their loyalty to God, to test their heart to God, to see where their mind was at to God. And one thing we got to realize, man, the adversary, this is how you can tell whether it's the adversary or God. These thoughts that I'm accumulating in my mind, is it causing me to detour away from the laws? Once these thoughts and these opinions is coming in my head and I start voicing things that's against God, that's not from God. God ain't put those thoughts there. Or maybe he did put those thoughts there to test you, to see if you're going to lean towards those thoughts and pull away from his laws, to see what you're going to do. To see what you're going to do. Because to tell you the truth, we ain't on no high specific plane. We are not on no high specific plane where the adversary got to come and move you. You move your own self. That's David. We move our own selves according to the lust of our own heart. Yeah. We move our own self. We evil, man. We some evil, wicked suckers. Yes, we are. God said that. The sooner you acknowledge it, the sooner you will become better with God. But the first way of getting close to God, you got to acknowledge and accept the fact that I am evil. Why am I evil? What's making me evil? Why am I evil and wicked? Because I go against every word that I read here. Because I don't accept every word that I read here. That's why we are evil. That's why I'm evil. I'm evil. Yeah, I'm evil. Those are things that we got to acknowledge, man. We're going to get into the book, and let's go into Genesis chapter 37. You got it, brother?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old,
17 years old,
was feeding the flock with his brethren.
Feeding the flock with his brethren.
And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives.
His father's wives.
And Joseph brought unto
that wasn't a problem with the woman in this book.
No.
Every generation changes. It changes. Realize from the generation after generation after generation how the mindset of people change according to the generation that they are living in. But the only thing that will keep your mindset one way is by reading this book. And then you will begin to train yourself to only accept what God accepts. Every generation it changes. And then, hey, listen here. Believe it or not, it's getting worse. I said it's getting worse. The book said that. Every generation get worse and more evil and atrocious, cold-hearted people.
That's right. You get more cold-hearted.
God said that, man. You people is cold.
Men, women, and children.
Cold-hearted people, man. Men, women, children,
old,
young, babies, cold.
Straight up
cold, man. But the one thing that gives you a heart towards God is by reading the book. God looked at him and said, hey, Zedekiah, oh King Zedekiah. He asked him, he said, why don't you deliver the brother from under subjection? You got the man serving you like he a slave. And the Lord told you not to bring your brother under subjection under those circumstances. He can't serve you for no slave. He said, listen, Babylon is coming. And they're going to take over. They're going to ramshack Jerusalem. Hey, they're on their way now. He said, but I will turn them away. Only on this matter. If you could let your brothers go that you got in subjection, that you got under slavery. Man, King Zedekiah let him go. When the prophet was gone, he went and brought them back into subjection. And that was it. That was it. After that, man, it was all she wrote, man. Babylon came in through the secret passage. That secret passage that Hezekiah showed.
Yes.
When he was, that was our secret. That was the getaway.
That was the escape routes.
And we got invaded from within.
He showed them the escape routes.
From within. Zedekiah goes, takes his family, his house, his family, his servants. They got on horseback trying to get to the other side of the flood, where the rest of the 10 tribes was at. Yeah, they was beefing. But even they knew once the heathen is pursuing a brother, all that's over. All that's over. What? My brother's running? Oh, I'm coming out. They're going to come out. But God knew that, and that's why he didn't allow him to get across that Jordan. Yeah. He allowed him to get there, man. He would have been good. He would have been good. He would have been good, man. Go ahead, Tom Street.
And Yaakov dwelt 20 years in the land which his father had sojourned.
What verse you at?
37.
No, that's not 37. That's chapter 37.
That's one, right?
Chapter 37, verse 3. Now Israel loved
Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age.
He was the son of his old age. He was the son of his old age. We will never understand that until you get a son in your 50s, in your 60s. You will be more inclined to him than every one of your kids. They grown already. But this is the son that I had in my old age. You're going to look, and I hear people say, it ain't good to have children in your 50s, in your 60s, because when you have children in those age, it causes Down syndrome. What? Where you heard this from?
The other way around.
Where in the world you heard this from? I never seen that. You know how many older people is having children and they ain't got no Down syndrome? The only way that passes on, that has to be inherited in your family. In your family.
Underdeveloped genes.
Right. Underdeveloped genes in your family, man. But I ain't got it in my genes. You ain't got it in your genes. And we have a kid. Our kid gonna be healthy. That shit ain't living. It's not. Go ahead, read.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age.
He was the son of his old age. That's right.
And he made him a coat with long sleeves.
A coat, and he made him a coat of many colors. The word for the coat of many says ketonet pasim. A coat or a garment of many stripes. Many stripes. Tamshi.
And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him.
They hated him.
And could not speak peace.
And couldn't speak peaceably. Now we see the book shows us what hatred is.
Okay.
When a person can't talk peaceably to you, he or she has something against you. There's something going on because you're talking a little too aggressive.
Yeah.
You look at the person, yo, why are you talking to me like that? What's up?
You get to thinking.
What's up?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tamshi.
Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more.
Joseph dreamed a dream, and what?
And he told it his brethren.
He told it to his brethren.
And they hated him yet
the more. They hated him more.
And he said unto them, Here I pray you this dream which I have dreamed.
For
behold, we were binding sheaves in the field.
We were binding sheaves in the field.
And lo, my sheep arose.
My sheep arose.
And also stood upright.
And
behold, your sheep stood around about, and made obeisance to my sheep.
Your sheep stood round about me, and paid obeisance. Right. All these dreams Joseph is having is going to come to pass.
That's right.
That's why everything transpired and happened in Joseph's life. Right. Because it was of God.
Son of a prophet.
It was of God.
These are signs of the future.
Okay? This is signs of the future. These are signs of what's going to go on in the future. Go ahead, Tamshi.
And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us?
His brothers picked it up quick. They ain't no deadheads. He said, man,
they know what that means.
What you saying, man? My sheep stand here and all the rest of the sheep paid obeisance. What you trying to say? You gonna reign over us? You ahead? You gonna rule over us? What you talking about, man? Go ahead, read.
Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us?
Mm-hmm.
And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words.
Tamshi.
And he dreamed yet another dream.
He dreamed another dream.
And told it his brethren.
And
said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun,
the moon,
and the 11 stars, made obeisance
to me.
And he told it to his father. And to his brethren.
And
his father rebuked him.
And
said unto him, What is this dream that
thou hast? What kind of dream you having, man? So what kind of dream? Sun, moon, and 11 stars bow and paying obeisance to you? So what you talking about, man?
He says, Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
He said, you trying to say the Jacob was up on it.
It's a big statement.
But that's a big statement. He said, you trying to tell me, your mother and your 11 brothers gonna bow to you? You the youngest one. You the youngest one. I'm not gonna bow to you, man. What are you talking about? Read.
And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the same.
The brothers envied him, but the father kept it in mind.
Kept it in mind. He said,
He kept it in mind. This is not no regular dream.
Say no regular dream.
It's not no regular dream, man.
Something going down.
Something is going down. And he perceived it because their dreams had meanings.
Yeah,
they didn't have dreams that they was falling and they just kept falling and then they woke up. They didn't have foolish dreams. They woke up and then they was being chased by a bunch of water bugs and he just kept running. And a bunch of water bugs was chasing the whole house full of water bugs and they had foolish dreams like that, man. They had dreams like that. When they had dreams, their dreams had meaning. And you know what I noticed? You dream according to your lifestyle.
That's what you get.
Your lifestyle. You full of folly and foolishness, and you're always acquired in folly and foolishness and stupidity. That's what you're gonna bring to yourself.
If you're getting chased
by roaches, then you
got some fear coming. You got some fright coming. Some horrors coming.
Go ahead, read.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem.
His brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem.
And Israel
That's big right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because the same thing what my brother said. We did not allow our parents to go nowhere by themselves, do nothing that I can't do for them. That's what we're here for. To honor them both in word and deeds. Word, deeds is your actions. You can honor your parents in your actions. Not only words. So things that needs to be done that takes some type of work, I need to take care of it. That's honor. The book teaches you that. Deeds and actions.
And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren.
He said, listen, your brothers is where? In Shechem, feeding the flock. He said, I need you to go out there and see if they good. They've been out there for a very long time. Jacob didn't hate his 11 sons. No. He loved his sons, man. Just Joseph was his man. Joseph was his, he loved them more than he loved his 11 sons. Because it was a son of his old age. And it was from the son, from the woman, that he loved so dearly.
And she's dead now.
And now she's dead. So I'm cherishing everything that came from her. I'm going to have more of an eye from this guy here that I got from the woman that I love 1,000%. 1,000%. I love that was love first. He said, man, I seen this woman here coming out to water the flock.
That was it.
He said, man, this woman here.
That was it.
He said, this is the one. I want this one. Went right to her, kissed her, introduced herself to her. But Laban threw a hook into it, threw a wrench.
He extended the stay.
Served Laban for 7 years. You know what that is? You know what kind of work Laban was doing? I mean, Joseph was doing? Not Joseph, Jacob, sorry. What kind of work Yaakov was doing? And he served him 7 years and 6 years for the flock. Nothing. He didn't look for nothing free.
Sometimes at day, sometimes at night.
That was the mentality of our forefathers. And if you look around and deal with people with varieties of different mindsets, that's not the mindset of people. We are always looking for something free.
That's right.
Do I have to pay? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? You evil. God shows you when you're evil and wicked. Because you're always looking for something free. A free ride. You do something for me, I got to give you something back. I must give you something back. I must repay you. And that is the mindset that we need to begin and start acquiring to gain the attention of God. That's the mindset we need to. It ain't just about fringes and garment. Read the book and learn the mindset that our forefathers acquired and took on to themselves. And you take on that same mindset so that we can draw the attention of God towards us, man. I don't want nothing free. You do something for me, I got to pay you back. I got to give you something in return. Go ahead, Tom Sheik.
And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with
What
thy
verse you
brethren.
at?
Verse 14.
Go ahead, read.
And he said to him, go, I pray thee, whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to
That
Shechem.
takes work, man.
Well, see,
That ain't no 1, 2, 3 thing, man. Working with flocks and herds in the field like that. No,
they in a
hours.
whole nother city.
That's almost the whole day.
That's right.
Sometimes brothers go out in the field and they don't come in
That's a
until
whole day's work. That's
evening.
a whole day's work.
Evening, man.
That's a whole day's work.
And the sun.
That's
hot sun.
work, bro.
No
Go ahead,
shelter,
read.
no shelter.
And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying,
He was wandering, looking around. He didn't go out there and say, "What? Oh, I don't see him. I'm going back. I don't see him." Nah, he wandered and searching and seeking. He said, "Man, I gotta accomplish this task." I remember Pop Deuce came and said, "Man, I want you to go to the store and get me a grape juice." He said, "Man, look at this guy here, man. This guy go to the store, went to one store, come back and tell me ain't no grape juice." So what happened to the store down the block? What happened to the store up that way? Call me, let me know, and you go and breathe through the stores and get me a grape juice. You don't leave the task undone.
This movie on pause. Don't worry about the movie.
You don't leave your parents' task undone. It must be accomplished
Break it
to
down.
show honorability and glory
Yes.
to
Yes,
your parents. The book teaches you what honor is.
That's right. That's right.
The book teaches you what type of mindset to acquire to be accepted by the creator of heaven and earth. And this is the mindset that we need to acquire so that it can be emanated. So it can be shown, emanated, meaning shown through your actions. You only gonna show what you got here. You only gonna show how you think. That's heavy, man. You only gonna show how you think, man.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
And that's why in order to show righteousness, I gotta change the way I think. I have to change the way I think. And I gotta change the way I think, and that's why my head and our heads need to be in this book more. Constantly in that book, because this is a lifetime job.
That's right.
It doesn't.
Like I hear a lot of pioneers say, this is a lifetime job, man. Because sometimes you revert back to your foolishness. Because it's a part of you. You trying to replace something that ain't easy to remove.
That's the bad.
You trying to replace something and remove something that ain't easily removed. And replacing it with righteousness and holy thoughts. Go ahead, let's go.
And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou?
So what you looking for?
And he said, I seek my brethren.
He said, I'm looking for my brothers,
Tell
man.
me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks.
Uh-huh.
And the man
The
said,
flocks wasn't even there. The flocks wasn't there. They left. They took the flocks with them. So they're out there with the flocks. Go ahead, read.
And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan.
Uh-huh.
And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan.
Joseph goes to Dothan. Right, read.
And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near to them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Look, man, they saw and peeped Joseph from far away. When they seen Joseph, they plotting to kill their own brother. Remember now, this was of God. Okay? This was of God, man. This was of God in order to get him into Egypt. For what he was, everything that he was dreaming of is gonna be it's gonna come to pass in Egypt.
The chain of events.
Chain of events is going to lead to those things.
God stirs that.
God stirred that up.
God stirred
that up. Cause up certain situations to cause up, to transpire, to cause you to go to jail, to cause you to go here, to cause you to be over here, because he does things according to how you think and how you are and what you got in you. So he put you in that position. Don't allow God to do that to you, man. Don't allow God. Don't make it so that God has to do that to you. Because he stirs certain situations up, put thoughts in your head, and now you talking about, oh, I don't want to do this no more. Or I don't want to move in that manner no more. But I don't want to move, but you are not considering the fact by me saying these things is going to keep me away from doing the laws and the commandments of God. So we cannot move according to our own thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts and the things that comes out of our mind are not right. And we got to juggle those thoughts and play with those thoughts and come to mind with yourself and have the first thing that needs to be in your head is, by me doing this, will I be sinning against God? Will I transgress his covenant? Will I break these laws when I'm moving this way? So those are not the right thoughts. Those are not the right mindset to have.
Do I offend God?
That's it. That's the key word. The brother, did I offend God? And you know, most of our thoughts and our mindset is not towards that. You worried about you being offended.
Right.
Gotta be on point.
You gotta be on point, man. You gotta be on point, and you're not gonna be on point in that manner playing around. You're not, man. Let's go. Tom Sheep.
And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer coming.
He said, uh-oh. He said, man, look at this dreamer, man. That's all he wanted to do is dream. Telling us about my sheep gonna pay a vision to his sheep. Yeah, oh yeah, look at this dreamer. He said, man, let's kill this dude, man. We're going to see what becomes of his dreams. We're going to see if his dreams going to come to pass. Go ahead, read.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him.
He said, listen, man, let's kill this dude, man. He said, we're going to kill him. You know what that is? To kill your own brother? Like I said, though this was a situation that was stirred up by God. All that had to happen. Go ahead, read.
And cast him into some pit.
He said, kill him and throw him in the pit. You know how deep those pits was?
It wasn't in there right.
Go ahead, read.
And we will say, some evil beast had devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dream.
Mm-hmm.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands.
The eldest one. The only one with some type of screws in his head. Look what he said.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, listen,
man, y'all hear all that y'all talking about, man, but y'all wilding right now.
Most High kept him with his wisdom.
He kept his wisdom.
Throughout the whole matter.
No matter what he looked, he kept his wisdom.
Yeah, God left him with his wisdom.
He kept his wisdom. And you see where it came to. You see where the wisdom came to. The eldest one. The wisdom is good. Look, that was a very rare situation with David. King David, that was a rare situation, man. How Samuel passed every one of his sons and went to David. And went to David. That's why Jesse said, hey, he said, it gotta be Eliab. He said, listen, what he told me, he said, listen, man, I don't look at his outer appearance or none of that. He said, but God is looking at the heart. That's right. He said, God rejected him. God has rejected him. Hey, listen. Shalom, princess. How you doing, princess?
Verse 22.
Go ahead, Tom sheet.
And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him.
Lay no hand upon him.
That he might rid him of
He
their
tried
hand.
to get him out the hand of his own brothers. Trying to get him away because these guys here trying to kill him. Simeon, Levi, Dan, Gad, they ready to push his wig back.
They are going to push it back.
They ready to push his wig back, man. Go ahead, read. Let's go.
To deliver him to his father again.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat.
They stripped him out of his coat of many colors. The first thing they took from him. Man, you the only one with a coat of many colors. Where mine's at? I want one. He said, but you're the only one with a coat of many colors. He said, how you give this guy something and ain't give me none? I want a coat of many colors. They ain't like that.
That was an official garb.
They didn't like that, man.
Royalty.
And if when we read through the book, you'll see Tamar. Tamar, the daughter of King David, had her garment, her robe was a coutonnet pasim also, a robe of many stripes. Pasim means stripes. That was a royal apparel. Royal official apparel with a robe full of stripes. Stripe, man. Royal apparel. Tom sheet.
That they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him into a pit.
They took him and threw him down in a pit, man. You know how deep that pit was? They didn't lower him down, bro. There wasn't no lowering him down. Oh, go ahead. Hold on the rope, Lotion. Hold on the rope. Right. Hold on.
Cast meaning.
They threw him down there, man. And he went through it. The hustling and the bustling with them, too.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it.
The pit was empty, but there was no water. That was a pit. That was a well. That was a well that they threw a bucket down. It was deep, 100 feet down. When you go but so deep, water starts springing up. And that's how they got their water.
That one was dried up.
But that well was dried up.
Like the one Jeremiah.
That well was dried up and it was covered. They didn't leave it open. Once the water is spent, it's covered. They cover it. They opened it and threw Joseph down there. Go ahead.
And they sat down to eat bread.
Yo, ain't that something, man? They took the man, threw him in the pit. Then after they threw him down in that pit, they went about their business, sat down to eat. They threw him down and said, man, let's go eat, man. And left him there. And they eating. Go ahead, read.
And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites.
They looked and said, a group of Ishmaelites. Yo, one thing about those men, it was rough. Do you know Ishmaelites, Midianites?
Man, they was outnumbered.
Man. They was outnumbered.
Amongst those
them
people.
10 was like the 300. They was rough dudes, man. They didn't have it, man. They didn't look. Those dudes was rough, bro. Man, those guys was rough. And nobody stepped to them. Whoever stepped to them, they took them out. They took them out, man.
Immediately.
In certain books, he said, man, Jacob up high. The wars of Jacob. Jacob up high with a bow and arrow. Snipe. The rest of the brothers is fighting. He like this, picking them. Bam, 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 bam. Nice with them. Them 12 sons wasn't no joke, man.
Each one.
I got goose pimples behind them. 12 boys was rough. Some rough dudes, man. Those were some rough dudes. You got wars that them 12 boys went into with the father. Hey, look, man. And he stuck with them boys, Jacob, and them boys stuck with him.
That's right.
Remember that movie, Young Guns? It was only what? How many of them? 10? 5, 6 of them? And they took down countries and cities by themselves. And the old man wasn't even their father. And they was loyal to him. They treated him like a father, man. Them 12 boys wasn't no joke, man.
They had abnormal powers, man.
Them 12 boys wasn't no joke.
They leap over walls.
Mm-hmm.
We go over the wall fighting Canaanites.
Yeah.
Tamshi.
The Israelites were scared.
That's right.
And they took him and cast him into the pit. The
They
pit
took him,
was
threw him in
empty.
the pit.
There was no water in it.
Uh-huh.
They sat down to eat bread. They lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery,
Balm.
and myrrh.
The word for myrrh is lot.
Lots.
Lot
What
is
is lot?
laudanum. Lot is a tincture of opium.
Opium.
There's nothing new under the sun.
They grew all over the east.
They grew all over the east, and they used it, but it wasn't like today where they use it and they become addicts and they're all on the bottom sitting
Got fentanyl.
got fentanyl and all these crazy
Barbiturates.
crazy stuff that they add in it.
That's right.
They didn't do that, man. Look, ain't nothing wrong with a little drinking, getting high and feeling nice to spice up the moment.
Nothing wrong with that.
Leah hired Jacob with mandrakes. He said, listen, I got some mandrakes here that my son done found in the field. She said, listen, come on in, you gonna lie. She said, what she said? She said, therefore I hired thee with my son's mandrakes.
Tonight.
Therefore tonight you come lie with me.
Appointment.
That says a lot. And a lot of people can't pick that out.
No, they can't.
You know why? Because when we cohabitated with our wives, they had their own tents. I, the husband, went into her tent.
She didn't go in this tent. You couldn't go in this.
Went into her tent. When Sarah died, Rebecca took over the mother's tent.
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
Khag Gebed, that was something to be honored and reverenced and respected, man.
Right.
Look, when
That made a
Tamar
difference, man.
when Tamar went to take care of Amnon, do you know she stood outside the chamber?
Thank you.
She
Thank
she baked bread
Thank you.
and cakes and all that
And
stuff.
he had to call her in.
She said, listen, she said, I got the bread right here.
But she ain't go in.
There was no familiarity.
Nah,
The law always played a part first.
that's right.
Forget about familiarity. That's my brother. I can walk in.
No,
Oh, that's my sister. I can walk. No.
No.
I'm not walking in these chambers, man.
That's correct.
This is my brother's chamber.
That's right.
I got the bread here.
Right.
What you want me to
Right.
do? He said, under his command, he said, all right, bring the bread in. Bring it on in. He said, have all men out for me. All right?
That's correct. Bathsheba.
Come on, man. Bathsheba.
And call her back in.
And that was his mother. But she respected it. She respected it and didn't just go in. She, Mother Bradshaw just said, well, I'm Big Mama here. No.
They didn't do that.
The
They
law
did
played in this proper perspective first and foremost.
movies. Don't let the movies fool you.
Don't let the movies fool you.
They didn't act like that.
They didn't act like that, man.
That's right. They
didn't move that way,
That's
man.
right.
And people fail to realize that there's only one way that God will accept you.
Only way.
One way.
Sorry.
The reason why God won't accept you because you are so stuck in this heathenistic way of life,
General view.
this modern way of life. I'm getting myself out of it.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting myself out of it.
Yes, sir.
That's a choice for every individual. I cannot force my choices on you.
You have to do that on your own.
This is something that we got to do on our own. On our own. I can't force the way I feel on you, man. Hopefully, with due diligence to God, you will perceive and understand, and your mind will open up.
Yeah, we'll feel the same way.
And we'll feel the same way. But till then,
we'll feel the same way.
we ain't one. We ain't one until we have the same mindset.
That's correct. This will do it.
And the only thing that will do it is this. This right here,
Watch
baby.
how long our relationship lasts.
This right here.
Watch how
Let's
long
time
it
sheet.
lasts. That's right. A company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing
A
spicery,
company, spicery, balm, and myrrh. Time
going
sheet.
to carry it down to Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood?
He said, man, what profit is it that we slay this guy
Now, Judah,
and hide his blood?
he thinking,
Right? Now he's starting to think. Now he said,
we
nah.
shouldn't kill him.
Read.
Come and let us sell him to the Israelites.
He said, come and let us sell him to the Israelites.
Let not our hands
He
be
said,
upon
let
him.
not our hands be upon him.
For he is our brother
But he is our brother
and our flesh.
and our flesh.
And his brethren were content.
And then everybody followed suit. They was content. That's the first thing that we need to realize. And that's the mindset that we need to realize. Why did these ferocious thoughts come in your head to kill the son of your father? Forget about if we have the different mothers. That didn't count. That didn't count. They didn't mention that. They looked at each and every one of us as brothers. This is my father's son.
That's right.
So why would I put forth my hand against my father's son, kill him, and hide his blood?
That's right.
Why would I do that? Why?
That's
The mindset of a people that has gained the attention of God, and we need to stop moving emotionally.
Yeah.
Remove your emotions, because you can't serve God with these type of emotions.
That's right.
Because emotions get in the way, and you start doing things according to how you feel, and how you feel don't count. And then when somebody try to tell you, you want to get all boisterous, and horns start growing out the top of your head. Serve God and keep His commandments, man. That's the duty that we need to be following. Reading the Genesis, the deep book.
The ways.
I said Genesis is a very deep book. If you sit down and read it, you will learn the ways. It shows they don't have too many laws. They don't have many laws, but they have a lot of ways to acquire and put to ourselves in Genesis. Let's go.
Then there passed by Midianite merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit.
Midianites. They went. The first thing they did, look in the hole. They said, man, this is money. They said, man, let's get this guy up out of here. He said, all right, yeah, we got you, brother. They go on, let's get him up out of here. Drew him up out of here. Human trafficking. Ain't nothing new under the sun, the brother said. Human trafficking. It was of old.
Leave the man alone.
That's why God said, hey, He said, don't kidnap your brother. He said, don't kidnap your brother and sell him. God said that, man.
Leave the man alone.
God said that. He said, don't do that, man.
Good thing to do.
He said, ain't no good thing to do. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Read.
And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Israelites for 20 pieces of silver.
Took Joseph, sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt.
The Ishmaelites took him and took him into Egypt.
And Reuben returned.
Now Reuben going back to the pit now.
He's still trying to get him.
He went back by himself. Notice that he didn't go with his brothers. They're not jacking Reuben.
They're not trying to get him.
Reuben's intentions, he was going to go back down there, get him out of here, so yo, make a home. That's what he was going to do. He was going to kill him. He was going to take the coat off him. He wasn't going to do none of that. He said, nah, man. Wisdom came to that eldest one first. He said, nah, we can't do none of that, man. And the first thing he thought about was who? His father. He said, man, if I do this, how my father gonna feel? What my father gonna think? How my father gonna feel, man? To see 11 of his sons or 10 of his sons move on one of his own sons. Y'all are all my sons. That's his mindset. He said, man, you know what? The man snuck away from the company, got to the hole to get Joseph out of here to return him to his father. But what happened?
The Midianites, they lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to Ishmael for 20 pieces of silver and brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit.
Joseph was in the pit.
And he rent his clothes.
Ripped his clothes, Sunday morning.
I said, damn, it's over.
And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not.
They didn't even know he went there. He went there to return him back. He said, man, he went back to his brother. He said, man, the child is not there. Where's Joseph, man? Go ahead.
And I, whither shall I
He
go?
said, me. He said, where am I going? You know what that means? He said, I'm
I
the
can't go back
eldest.
home.
I can't go back home. My father gonna look at, besides looking at everyone, gonna look at me. I was supposed to have the situation controlled.
Yeah.
I'm the eldest. Go ahead. Joseph was 17 years old. Joseph was 17 years old in the book, it said. 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lad, a child.
Still a child. Yeah, still a child. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goat.
They took his coat, killed the kid,
of the goats,
of the
and
goats,
dipped the coat in
dipped
the
the
blood.
coat in the blood.
They sent the coat of many colors.
Took the coat of many colors.
They brought it to their father.
Brought it to their father.
And said, "This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat
He said,
or not."
listen, man, I got this coat here. It's in blood. He said, look, are you able to perceive that this is your son's coat? He said, no, now. Look at it.
Come up with an excuse.
All right? They had to come up with something.
And he knew it.
And he knew it.
And he said, "It is my son's coat."
It is my son's coat.
Evil beast had
So
devoured.
evil beast done devoured him.
Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned his son for many days.
When it says many days, he mourned for
Years.
years. For years, that man strapped sackcloth on his loins and mourned for his son for many years. Go ahead. And he didn't want to be, couldn't be comforted. You can't comfort him. There's nothing you could do to calm him down. His wife couldn't calm him down. The man loved his son.
This is what they call depressed.
That's right. Tom Sheet.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, "But I will go down into the grave until my son mourning." Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard.
Go to chapter 42. Genesis chapter 42.
Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt.
Now it's a famine in the land. It's a famine in the land. The only spot that had food is Egypt. Because remember now, they had dreams. I didn't go through that. But he was put in the dungeon because he was accused. The Potiphar's wife accused him of trying to lay with her.
She was lying.
She was lying.
That's a bold.
Okay? She was lying. Right? And when they found out and she told Potiphar, Potiphar put him in dungeon, put him in jail. Tom Sheet, read. And the people that was in the baker, the butler, they all had dreams. 7 sick ewes and 7 thin ewes and the baskets. All those dreams were dreams of telling us, foretelling the future, that it was going to be 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty. During the 7 years of plenty came first. While we had 7 years of plenty, they stored and they stored. And they stored to prepare for the famine, and the amount of food that they stored was able to supply nations and nations of people.
For the next 7 years.
For 7 years.
For 7 years. Now that could only tell you one thing: what kind of foods they were saving. It wasn't possible. It was food that they could. It was grains that can hold. Corn that can hold and not go bad. Wheat, barley. You see how these people ate? That's right. Tom Sheet.
Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, "Why do ye look one upon another?"
Jacob came. He said, "Listen here, man. There's food in Egypt. Why y'all sitting down staring at each other? It reminds me of Paulie.
Yeah.
And ain't no tissue in the house, and you got all these swinging
All these grown men up there.
Grown men sitting in the room looking at each other, waiting for me to go down and get tissue. When they see they need, they sit down in here and waiting for me. Man, get up.
He said, "Well, you got all these killers in here."
All these killers. You might be important. Go ahead, Reed.
And Jacob said to his sons, "Why do you look one upon another?"
So why y'all looking
and
upon
said,
each other?
"Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die.
Would you expect Jacob to go? Jacob ain't going.
He
He said, I ain't going. I'm not taking no garbage out and I got all these men in here. I ain't washing no dishes and I got all these men in here. I ain't cleaning no bathroom and I got all these men in here. No, you guys get up and go get food.
You go here. You take care of this. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren. But he said, let's pay adventure mischief before him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came. For the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land.
Joseph was the governor of the land.
And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
Remember that dream?
First dream.
Where the chiefs, the 11 chiefs came and bowed to Joseph's sheep. That's the first dream that came to pass. Which means Joseph in the future was going to get put in a position of control, a position of authority, where his brothers was going to come and pay obeisance to him.
He does have dominion over them.
And right now, he do have dominion over them.
He got them.
And guess what? There wasn't no there wasn't no lame brains neither. After they found out, he said, wow, this is Joseph. You don't think they realized and played the tapes back and said, man, this was the dreams that this guy was dreaming about. And we took it lightly and hated him for his dreams. We got emotional. Our emotions got in the way of it. Go ahead, read.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them.
Joseph seen his brethren, but he made himself strange unto them. What you expect? You dudes roughed me up and threw me in that pit.
He didn't reveal himself.
Talking about y'all gonna kill me. He said, all right. I made myself strange. Remember, they didn't recognize him because they roughed him up. They shaved, he was shaved up, and his dress well.
He said, when the man screamed out. He said, when he screamed out, screaming.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye?
So where you coming from?
And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, ye are spies.
Ye are spies.
To see the nakedness of
the
land
ye are come.
And they said unto him, nay, my lord, but to buy food of thy servants come. We are all one man's sons.
We are all one man's sons.
We are true men.
We are true men. We are honest men. We are just men.
Thy servants are no spies.
Thy servants are no spies.
And he said unto them, nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. They said, thy servants are
12 brethren.
The sons of one man.
The sons of one man.
In the land of Canaan.
In the land of Canaan.
And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not.
And one is not.
And Joseph said unto them, that is that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither.
He said, listen.
On Pharaoh.
He said,
on Pharaoh, y'all ain't going.
On the life of Pharaoh. He said, man, you got to bring your younger brother. On Pharaoh.
Like
on God. Like they
He meant that.
He meant that.
Send one of you and let him fetch your brother.
He said, send one of you, all of you guys stay here, but one of you guys go and get Benjamin, your youngest brother.
And he shall be kept in prison.
And ye shall be kept in prison. You going to jail. I'm putting every one of you dudes in prison. One of you guys go back, get Benjamin. While he go back to get Benjamin, you guys going in the dungeon. That's where he's putting him. The same dungeon that Joseph was in, he going in there. Go ahead.
That your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into war 3 days.
He had them in prison for 3 days. He said, no. Y'all going to jail. All three y'all going there for 3 days. Read.
And Joseph said unto them the third day, this do and live, for I fear God.
He said, this do and live. He said, listen here. He said, man, do this and you'll live. He said, because he said, I fear God. And this is the only reason why I'm giving you this option. The fear of God is making him be merciful and have some type of sorry and sorrowful for them. Even though y'all did me dirty. But I'm not going to do you the way you did me. He said,
If ye be true
men,
let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison.
He said, okay, I was going to bound all of y'all. He said, but you know what? Leave one. And the rest of y'all could go back.
Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, we are verily guilty.
You hear what they said? That was this is our mind. These are people with a conscience. You know, acknowledgement. You know how many years this took? This happened? Look what they said. He said, man,
as soon as it happened.
Look what they said, man. Because these wasn't the type of people to sin like that. They were able to pinpoint. They were able to pinpoint where certain things came from. They didn't sin presumptuous, man. They wasn't the people that sin constantly like us. So when something went down, they were able to pinpoint, oh, this is happening because of this. This is happening because of this over here. This is happening because of this over here. Right? Look, let's read what they said.
We are verily guilty concerning our brother.
We are verily guilty concerning our brother. He said, man, we messed up, man. This is happening because of what we did to Yosef.
Years and
years ago.
In that we saw the
anguish of his soul when he besought us.
And we would not hear.
He said the anguish of his soul, and he begged them. Man, what y'all doing, man? Really? Y'all throwing me down in the pit, and they begged, and he begged, and like, yo, none of them heard.
They were like robots.
They didn't feel sorry for him, man. None of them heard. They was like, go ahead.
Therefore, is this distress come upon
That's
us?
why this is happening to us now. That's why this is happening now, because of what we did to our brother. Okay? Go ahead, read.
And Reuben said unto them, spake I not unto you?
He said, they did not tell y'all, man. He said, I told every last one of y'all.
Do not sin against
the child.
Don't
sin against the child. I told y'all. He said, but y'all ain't want to listen. I told y'all don't sin against the child.
Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Now his blood is required now. Because I told y'all not to do this, man. Don't do this, man. Now
we might die.
Go ahead.
Blood is required, man. And they knew not that Joseph understood them.
They said all that in Hebrew.
Yeah. They
didn't know that Joseph understood the language. He spoke. Because he spoke Egyptian, and he spent 13 years in the dungeon learning that Egyptian language. It was of God. He learned that language where he was able to spit it, and he spoke to his brothers through an interpreter.
Right.
Spoke Egyptian language, and he interpreted to them.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. So now they speak in Hebrew, thinking that he don't know what he talking about.
The only family that spoke Hebrew in the world.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Hebrews.
That's
and
right.
They knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter.
And
he turned himself about from them and wept.
Look, man, when he heard them say that,
they heard
his emotions started stirred up. It stirred up in him to where it just broke him down, and he turned away and started crying.
Yeah.
Wept. Broke him down, Tomshi.
And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and give them provision for the way. Thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with the corn, and he departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money. For behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored.
While they had food in there, Joseph restored their bread back.
Yeah,
They put their money right back in the sacks. Bam.
Yeah.
Every last one of them, the money was restored back under their sacks. Some see.
And it is even in my sack, and their heart failed them, and they were afraid.
They didn't say it was a blessing.
They said, man, something wrong, man.
They didn't say it was a
I'm
come
not
up.
supposed to have this money. Everybody got
You see the mentality of these people? Ain't no come up.
this money ain't supposed to be.
So when you go to the bank and you go to cash your check and you count your money, you get an extra $100, $200. It behooves you to return that extra cash back to them.
Even
a dollar. Whatever is extra, you return it back to show your righteousness towards God.
Sometimes
And that happened to me one time. Lady gave me an extra $100 bill, and something told me to count it. So when I counted, it was extra 100. I went back to the same teller. I said, Miss, I said, you gave me an extra $100 bill.
Yeah. People make mistakes. Yeah.
I gave her the money. She counted it. She said, oh, wow. Gave it back. Took it back. And she left. But I didn't make it known because she would lose her job. Making that mistake.
Right.
Yeah. That's right. People in the world don't move like that.
Time sheet.
And they came unto Jacob, their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that.
Told him everything that befell unto them, saying,
the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us and took us for spies of the country.
He said they told him everything that transpired. Which means what? They didn't hold nothing back.
Right.
Which means by then, Joseph knew what happened. Jacob knew what took place. Told him. He told him everything what happened.
Right.
Told him everything what took place, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they told him everything what took place, and man, this is happening because remember he said because of we sinned against our brother, man, what we did. And they told him everything. Tom Shee.
And he said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father, one is not. And the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you, your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in this sack. So they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid.
They were afraid.
Jacob, their father, said unto them, have ye bereaved of my children? Joseph is not. Simeon is not.
See, he said, man, I'm gonna end up losing all my kids.
It's really coming.
Joseph ain't here. He said, now Simeon not here.
He said, you would take Benjamin away.
He said, now you want to take Benjamin. He said, what's wrong with y'all, man? Go ahead.
All these things are against me.
All these things is against me. It's on me.
And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my two sons.
He said, man, kill my two sons if I bring him not
to thee.
Deliver him into my hands, and I will bring him to thee again.
He said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief before him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
Tom Street.
And the famine was sore in the land. It came to pass when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us.
And the man told us what?
You shall not see my face.
Do not see my face
except
your brother be with you. We cannot go down there to get nothing until we bring Benjamin with us. Because we got to prove that we ain't spies. Go ahead, read.
If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down.
If you send Benjamin with us, we'll go down and get food.
But if thou wilt not send him,
if you don't send him,
we will not go down.
Can't go down.
The man said unto us, ye shall not see my face.
Don't see my face.
Except your brother be with you.
That's right.
Israel said, wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether he had yet. He
said, why you deal so ill with me to even tell the man that we had a brother? Why? But go ahead, read.
And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state.
He said, the man said, listen, man, We didn't know he was going to say that. He said the man asked us about our well-being. He asked us about our state. We got to realize and know one thing, that Joseph recognized them. And he's asking them certain questions to see what they're going to say to trap them.
To see if they're true men.
And they was true men.
One lie.
They didn't lie.
They couldn't get caught in one lie.
They didn't lie.
They'll die.
They didn't leave nothing out. Those were really true and honest men. Go ahead, read.
The man asked us straightly of our state and our kindred, saying, is your father yet alive?
He said, your father yet alive.
Have ye another brother?
Have ye another brother? Because I don't see Benjamin.
Yeah.
I see 10 of you, but I don't see my little brother. He said, do you have another brother? That should have rang a bell. He said, wait a minute. How do you know that I have another brother at home? What made me ask me that? Go ahead, read.
Divination or something?
That's the last thing they think of, that's Joseph. He don't even look like Joseph. He couldn't. And remember, he talked
over 20 years.
Over 20 years, exactly.
There's no way he's gonna turn it.
Go ahead, Tom Sheep.
And we told him according to the tenor of these words.
Uh-huh.
Could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down?
He said, we didn't know he was going to tell us to bring him down there. We didn't know.
We know he's going to do all that.
Go ahead, read.
And Judah said unto his Israel,
look what Judah told to his father.
Send the lad with me.
He said, send the lad with me.
We will arise and go.
We will arise and go.
That we may live.
That we may live.
And not die.
And not die. Because remember, there is no food.
We got to get food.
We need to eat. Go ahead.
Both we, thou, and also our little
They had
ones.
children. These are grown men with wives and children already. And they got to get a lot of food to suffice their families, their father's house, servants. Everybody got to eat. Go ahead.
I will be surety of him.
He said, listen, leave him under my
I'm responsible.
My responsibility. I'm responsible for him. Read.
Of my hand shall thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we would have returned.
Look, we lingered a very long time. We could have been on our way back already, because that's a long journey. It was a long journey. All that time, Simeon in prison.
680 miles away.
Simeon is in prison right now.
He holding it down.
I wonder why he chose Simeon.
Go ahead.
And their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, a little honey, spices, myrrh, nuts, and almonds. And take double money in your hand, the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure was an oversight. Take also.
Now you see what they say? He said, listen, man. All right. I gotta soften this guy up. He said, if you're going down there to get some food, listen, make sure you take the best of the fruits of the land in your vessels.
Double the money in there.
Double the money. Bring back the money that was spent in your basket and send more money back. That was all right. Bring a little honey, spice, some lot, some nuts, almonds. Go ahead.
First, he said, again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it in your hand. Peradventure was an oversight. 13. Take also your brother and arise. Go again unto the man.
That's right.
And God Almighty give you mercy.
God Almighty, El Shaddai.
That he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me.
So listen, bring these guys here into my house. He said, make ready a kid, slay. He said, they're going to eat with me.
And the man did as Joseph bade. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house. The men were afraid.
Because they was brought in the man's house. So now he said, man, what this guy got up his sleeve? Why in the world he bringing us into his house? We ain't coming to chill. I'm just coming to buy some food and make an honest exchange. Making an honest exchange and bring my brothers out, bring your money, because they didn't eat with Hebrew, and they knew that. We don't have
that was personal.
That was personal. They knew that. So that's why he was like, wait a minute, something's up. what are we doing here at this man's house? Right?
And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time when we brought in.
He said, man, the reason why you brought us back here, because the money that was under our sacks is the reason why we was born here. Read.
That he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house and said, "Oh, sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold..."
He said, listen, man, we went to an inn. The inn is like a stop. Yeah. A stop where you sit,
like
rest.
Stop.
You know what I mean? Right? So when we got to the inn now, he said, we looked in our sacks and we seen the money there that was returned back in our sacks. Go ahead, read.
Our money in full weight. And we have brought it again in our hand. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, "Peace be to you. Fear not. Your God and the God of your father have given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money." And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet. And he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph. Came at noon. For they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare. And he said, Is your father well?
Is your father well?
The old man of whom you spake.
The old man of whom you spake? Is he yet alive? Tamshi.
They answered, Thy servant our father is in good health.
Thy servant our father is in good health.
He is yet alive.
He's yet alive.
They bowed down their heads.
And made obeisance. Again, the dream. Right?
And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son. And said, Is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste. For his bowels did yearn upon his brother.
And he didn't see Benjamin for so many years. And when he seen him, he said, nah, I gotta turn away. I can't let them see me. He turned away and cried. Turned away and weep. He cried, man. So Harry.
And he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. But they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messages unto them.
See, they marveled. They like how he know who's the eldest from the youngest to set them in order like that. They say, wait a minute. He said, this guy like he know us or something, man. He said every last one of them in order. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, everybody in order. Had Benjamin towards the last. Go ahead, read.
And he took and sent messages unto them from before him. And Benjamin's mess was five times so much as any of theirs.
Gave him more.
They drank and were merry with him. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry.
He said, fill their food as much as they can carry. Don't worry about the money. I don't care about how much money they bring. Fill it up. Read.
And put every man's money in his sacks.
Put the money back in their sacks.
And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest.
Put my cup in the silver cup in the sack, in the bag of the youngest son.
And his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. When they were going out of the city, and not yet afar off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
He said, listen, after they got away, he sent them away. He said, listen. He said, go follow them And when you overtake them, when you meet up with them, ask them. He said, why you reward me evil for good? Why you reward me evil for the good that I've done to you? Tom Shoe.
Is not this in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth?
In which why he divineth. That don't mean that Joseph did divination.
He told him to say that.
People say that Joseph did it. Divination. He told him to say that because that was the only way. That was a setup. That was the only way to say, well, that's how Joseph found out what he found out.
Right. You know that already.
Okay, it was already a setup already. And he said, ye have done evil in so doing so. The good that a person does to you never dies. It doesn't relinquish. We need to realize that. The good that a man does to you is never forgotten.
Right.
It's never forgotten. Before I do you evil, I'll separate. I say, you know what? I'm not going to kill you because you did this one good, you did my father good, you did me good, you did this, but you violated in this matter. We can't have no more dealings. Stay there. We can't have no more dealings.
So you ran my father.
That's right. Tom Sheet.
Ye have done evil in doing, and so doing.
Verse 5.
And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. They said unto him, wherefore say my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing.
Bossy, go ahead.
Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan.
He said, what do you mean we did evil?
No, we don't.
He said, man, the money that was found in our sacks, I returned it plus more.
Who does that?
I returned it plus more. So how you mean? What do you mean I did you evil? My actions doesn't
Don't show that.
It doesn't show that. My actions does not denote that. It doesn't show that, man. I'm showing you different. Tom Sheet.
How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold?
And that's what people need to realize, man. You know, people say certain things, but they don't ask themselves that the man's actions, it speaks different.
Actions speak louder.
My actions speaks completely different. Haven't I shown you? How much do I have to continue to show you that I'm here for you and protect you and to do anything for you?
Right.
But yet you come with this negative thought. Oh, you're gonna. Well, I never showed you that I'm not. I never showed you no different. So basically, what? He said, man, you trust. Trust is a big thing. Therefore, you not at least trust the man or trust the person because my actions show different.
Right.
I showed you different.
Right.
I ain't never showed you that I was a slime ball. I never showed you that I was a grind ball. And now you're looking at me as a grind ball. For what reason? I don't know. Because of those evil, atrocious thoughts that's in your head that's causing you to detour. That's what these thoughts is. It's causing you to turn away from God. It's causing you to turn away. Go ahead, read.
With whomsoever of thy servants,
He said, whoever of thy servants, if be found,
both let him die.
So let him die. Because they didn't have to ask, oh, did you take it? Everybody know they can speak for each other. They know they don't get down like that.
That's why they spoke so
Each and every one of them knew that each one did not get that. He said, man, you find anything in anybody's sacks. He said, kill him. He said, let him die.
That's right.
Because I know you ain't going to find it in none of our sacks. It ain't supposed to be there. And they ain't take it. Tom Sheet.
We will also be of my Lord's bondmen.
Tom Sheet.
And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and he shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes. And laid every man his ass and returned to the city. Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. They fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that ye have done? What ye not?
So man, what did you do? He said, what ye not?
That
Such
such
a
a man
man
as I can
certainly divine. So you didn't know I was a man that I can do
divine.
divination. I can
divine
divine and find
out.
out certain things.
He didn't divine to find that out. He set
Right,
that
he
up.
set that up.
Set up.
That's right.
Just faking. Right?
That's right. Tamshi.
And Judah said,
Plain
what
old.
shall we say unto my Lord?
Judah
What-
said, he said, what am I going to say
Got
to you,
nothing to say,
man?
man.
You hear that? When you are at fault, you have nothing to say.
That's right. Just acknowledge.
Why do we have so much to say when we are wrong? When we are at fault with each other? You don't have nothing to say.
They can't prove themselves. They can't say nothing.
It's already found there.
That's right.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
read.
they can't say nothing. What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves?
You can't clear yourself.
There's no way to clear
There's no
ourselves.
clearing
So we
yourself.
have-
There's no reason of why I did this. You're wrong for doing it.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me why you did it.
That's right.
I don't want to hear why you did it.
Done.
You're wrong. You're wrong. And we need to realize that and really take this. Tell you, man. Wasn't my intention. That don't count. You did it.
Doesn't clear.
You did it, man. You see what these men did,
That's
said
what
out
they
their
say
mouth?
That's what they
Said we
say.
can't clear ourselves. I can't speak up or say nothing because I'm wrong. Tom, see?
God has found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants.
We are your servants.
Both we
Both
and
we.
he also with whom
And
the
he
cup
also
is
with
found.
whom the cup is found.
And he said, God forbid that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. As for you, get you up in peace unto your
He
father.
said, listen, the guy that I found that cup in,
That's
he said,
the one.
that's Benjamin. He said, he's my servant. The rest of y'all, get up out of here. The rest of y'all, get up out of here and go back down to your father.
Yeah, you really messing with them. You really
Go ahead.
Then Judah came up near unto him and said,
Look what Judah said.
oh my Lord.
He said, oh my Lord.
Let
He
thy
said,
servant,
let thy servant, I pray thee,
speak a word in
speak
my
a
Lord's
word
ears.
in my Lord's ears. Let me speak something. Let me say something, man. Go ahead.
And let not thine
And
anger
don't
burn
let your
against
anger
thy
burn
servant.
against thy servant.
For
Read.
thou art even as sparrow.
For thou art even as sparrow. Tom, see?
You know how to speak.
Picking them up. You got to know how to speak now.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
My Lord asked his servant,
He
saying,
said, you asked me.
have ye a father
He said, you asked me, do I have a father
or a brother?
or a brother? Didn't you ask me that?
So give
He
that-
he gonna go over
gonna
everything.
start over.
He gonna rewind
Yeah.
and go over
Let's start this
everything that you said.
Smart man. Yeah.
Smart man, Tom Shee. He said, didn't you ask me if I have a father or a brother? Tom Shee.
And we said unto my
And
Lord,
what we told you?
we have a father,
We have a father,
an old man,
an old man,
and a child of his old
and the
age,
child of his old age,
a little one,
a little one,
and his brother is dead,
and his brother's dead.
and he alone is left of his mother.
He alone is left of his mother,
And his father
and
loveth
his
him.
father loves him, man. His
And
father loves him. Read.
And thou saidest unto thy servants, bring him down unto
Now
me,
you told me to bring him down,
that I may set mine eyes
that I
upon
may
him.
see him. Read.
And we said unto my Lord,
Look what did
Lad-
we tell you? I told you that the lad,
cannot
leave his father. I made that distinctive to
told
you.
you that.
That the lad can't leave his
Tell you
father.
that.
Read.
For if we should leave his father,
If he leave his father
his father
would die.
And thou saidest unto thy servants, except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more.
He said, listen. He said, you told us if we don't bring our younger brother with
We
us,
can't.
he said we can't see your face no more. So now you left us
No choice.
stuck between a rock and a hard place. Go ahead, read.
And when it came to pass, when we came up unto thy servant, my father, we told him the words of my Lord.
Now, when we went back to see our father, we told him your words, and we repeated everything you told us to him. Tom C.
And our father said, go again.
But our father, he wasn't trying to hear it. He said, go on back there and buy some
little
food.
food. And we said, we cannot go
We
down.
told him we can't go back.
If our younger brother be
The only
with
way
us,
we can go back, Benjamin has to be with us.
then we will go
He
down.
said, then we'll go down.
For we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with
Tom
us.
C.
And thy servant, my father, said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons. And the one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn in pieces. And I saw him not since. And if he take this also from me, and mischief before him. He shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not
now
with
if I
us,
go back to my father,
and
I don't have Benjamin with me,
this, man.
and I don't have Benjamin with me,
you late.
I can't. All right, basically, he said, man, I can't go back to him without Benjamin. The only way for me to go back there, I have to have that boy with me. Go ahead.
Now therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us,
And he ain't with us.
seeing that his life,
Seeing that my father's life is bound up in the
lad's
child's life. He's living because of him. It was a certain type of
That's a
bond
bond.
and connection between Jacob and Benjamin.
That's a bond.
It was a serious bond.
That's a bond.
Why? Because that man loved the hell out of Raquel.
Raquel gone. Joseph gone. Now
He loved Raquel, man.
That's what we came for. He worked 7 years.
Worked 7 years for that woman.
Didn't get her. And had worked another 7 years.
That's right. Tom C.
For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad.
He said, listen, I will stay.
Let me stay.
I will stay instead of Benjamin. All right?
And let the lad go up with
And
his
let
brethren.
him go back with his brothers.
And for how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
He said, man, by me, by this happening, by you taking him, this is gonna kill my father.
Lose will kill him.
It's gonna definitely
Can't have it happen, man.
We cannot go through with certain things that's gonna grieve our parents.
You can't do it.
When you see certain situations occurring, and this is not going to be an ugly sight.
It's going too far.
It's going too far. It's going to get ugly. Somebody got to have the wits to say, you know what? Let me pull back. Let me stop. Because by this happening, it's going to grieve my parents. They're the ones that's going to feel it. And that's the mentality that we need to acquire.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, cause every man to go out from me. There stood no man with him while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph.
He said, man, listen, man. He said, I'm Joseph.
It was too much.
He cried. He bawled out.
He
said, man, I'm Joseph, man. Reveal this up, Reed.
Doth my father yet live?
He said, is my father alive, man?
And his brethren could not answer him.
His brothers couldn't even answer him. They stuck. They said, what?
They were shocked.
All this? You, Joseph?
Shocked.
Go ahead.
Scared. He said, but they were troubled at his presence.
Troubled.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you.
He said, listen, man. Come close to me, man. Come here. He said, oh, you guys. He said, come on over here, man. You see, the man did not. Look, Joseph, that's a lesson learned in itself. No matter what took place and what happened, he didn't hold a grudge against his brothers.
He put him through it.
He put him through it.
But how many times did he go inside and cry?
He put him through it.
It.
But he didn't hold a grudge against his brothers, man. No matter what they did. Go ahead, Reed.
Joseph said to his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved. Be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves. That you sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. You see, key, man. You see, they didn't sell him. Huh? That's key. They didn't sell him. No, but it was because of you guys why I got sold. It's because of them why I got sold. But God allowed all this to preserve life. To preserve life.
Because that famine was on its way.
Canaan is going to be dry.
That famine was on its way, man. It was there already.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt.
He running stuff.
Because Pharaoh fell back.
He running stuff. Pharaoh fell all the way back. Joseph is governor, and he's running everything. The only place, the only spot that he didn't run was in his house. He didn't come in Pharaoh's house and run nothing. But everything else, he ran it. Whatever question they wanted, Pharaoh was like, yo, go ask Joseph. Whatever Joseph said, go ask Joseph. Whatever Joseph said. He didn't. Pharaoh fell all the way back.
They didn't even go to Pharaoh no more.
No, they had to go to him.
They go to Joseph.
And
Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Pace ye and go up to my father and say unto him.
He said, hurry on up. Go and see my father. Read.
Thus said thy son Joseph.
And tell him, man, thus say your son Joseph.
God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. God, come down unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen. And thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck.
They both grabbed each other and they cried on each other's neck. That's right.
Moreover,
he didn't forget his parents. He didn't forget his brothers. He didn't forget his sisters. He came up. Then listen, y'all come on up with me.
Come and live.
Y'all come and live. Come on up.
I ain't gonna be doing bad out there, man.
I'm not gonna be doing only one doing good. I'm doing good. Everybody else gonna be doing good.
That's right. Move out here with me. No more
That's right. That's right.
Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. The famine
after all that, after he kissed them and wept, so they sat down and they talked, man. They had a lot to talk about. What transpired through those long space of time. What Joseph went through that whole time. What they went through that whole time.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye. Lead your beasts and go. Get you unto the land of Canaan.
He said, listen, you ain't got to travel back with all this. He said, leave this down, leave this here. Just go down there, get your father, get what you got to get there, and come on back.
Just take stuff away.
And take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take ye wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones, and for your wives, and bring your father, and come. Also, regard not your stuff.
Don't worry about your stuff.
For the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
Everything is yours.
And the children of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment. But to Benjamin, he gave 300 pieces of silver
and 5 changes of raiment.
And to his father he sent after this manner 10
asses
laden with the good
things of Egypt.
10 she
asses
laden with corn
and bread and meat for his father by the way.
So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that ye not fall out not by the way. They went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive. And he is governor.
He's governor over all the land of Egypt.
And Jacob's heart fainted,
Jacob's
So
heart
he
fainted
believed
because he ain't believed them.
Who?
Y'all telling
I
me
told you, man.
the coat of many colors full of blood, he's ready in pieces.
Good
now
news.
y'all coming back and telling me
Good
that
news
he's
to make it
alive?
pass out too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Good news make it do that too.
Yeah, man.
And they told him all the words of Joseph which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him,
The spirit of Jacob, their father, revived. That's from the time Joseph died till now. That's when he got out of that mourning state, that depressed state. You know how many years? That's over 20 years that man lived his life in a depressed, stressed out spirit. And when he found out his son was alive, his spirit revived. God revived again. Uh-huh.
And Israel said,
It is enough. Say, it's enough. Man. You ain't got tired enough. You ain't got to tell me no more. That's it. Don't tell me no more. He said, I already know. He said,
Joseph, my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
Man, listen, I'm going to see him before I die. And with that, I hope I already got what was bought. And I'm going to say Shavuot Shalom. And I'm going to call up the next speaker, teacher indeed, Chief Mikhail Ben Lo.
Sorry. Giving all praises to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Giving all due respect to my father, my teacher, and the leader, Chief Levite, Chief Eleazar, Ben Dodo, and the tribe of Levi. Giving all due respect to Chief Men, Prince Men, brothers and sisters, visitors, and the tongue of our forefathers, I bid you all Shalom Aleichem. Shalom. Now, what I have, I'm going to say for Shabbat, right? For our guests. I'm going to keep going where Shama left off at, because there's more to this. There's a lot more to this, man. And like he said, man, these are the ways. This is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their sons are showing us this is how a family is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You heard what he told him? Yo, man, hurry up and get down there. Go and tell Abba.
That's right.
That it's lit. I got it lit here. Mm-hmm. I'm in charge here. I run it here. We ain't got to scrap for nothing. You ain't got to say, you ain't got to buy nothing. Come over here. I got the land of Goshen. You know how big the land of Goshen was? Mm-hmm. That land was big, man.
Yep.
Enough for the whole family. 70 souls. It was 70 souls, right?
That's right.
70 souls.
Yeah.
It's a 70 souls.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, that's a family. Each man had his wife and wives and children and sons.
Servants.
Not even counting their servants, and their servants have children. And their children, come on, man. That's the blessing of God right there. Because Canaan about to get hit. Remember, he said the iniquity of the Amorites have not yet been fulfilled. He said this in Abraham's time, before these guys was even born. Okay? So God revealed that it's going to be 7 years. It's going to dry up. Because they're doing some stuff on that land in Canaan that's what brings the land into desolation. The sins of the people. That's why God told them, when you get into Israel, do these commandments, do my judgments, do my ordinance, do my ways. Because if not, you're going to get kicked out just like they're about to kick out. And I'm using you to expel them. And guess what happened? God used Assyria to expel Israel. And then later on, Babylon. And then later on, Greece. And then later on, the finality was Rome, 70 AD. That's how it goes. You can't go and, I'm going to live in these apartments, these condos here. There's rules to living in that condo. They may not allow pets.
Right.
Right or wrong. Right. You can't have a dog, you can't have a cat. But you go and you still get a puppy. And the landlord finds out. What happens? He kicks you out. Because what? You went against what? The rules. The rules. Somebody coming up in here that know the rules and they go against the rules, they get what? Kicked out.
That's right.
So that's what happened to Israel. But this is the beginning of Israel going into Egypt. This is how they wound up in Egypt and later on as slaves. God did show this to Abraham, and he said, yo, they're going to be bondmen.
Yep.
He said, no, but surety, they're going to go in. They're going in hard, and they're going to come out good. I'm going to bring them out with a mighty hand. And God did it all. He judged. He said, because I'm going to visit the people who they are servants to. Visitation is judgment upon Egypt.
That's right.
He said, they're going to stay there until I visit that man, the judgment, right? He said, then I'm going to take them out, and they are going to get filtered with my commandments in the wilderness. In the meantime, they're going to get the commandments. So by the time they get to the land, all they got to do is kill the people and move in and live in these commandments. They'll know it by then. That's how that was the plan. He told Abraham the whole plan.
That's right.
Said, no, but surety, that's no, but I'm gonna bring them out with a mighty arm, and they're gonna govern this whole land that you walked on. That's why God made Abraham walk everywhere. Everywhere Isaac went, his father was there already. Abraham set the pace. He walked. Pop Dukes is the one who set the pace. All we do is follow the footsteps. We follow our father's footsteps, not Jake. Not Jake. Not a picture with footprints in a river. That's not. We follow the footsteps of our father. We follow the footsteps of David. Those are the footsteps we're supposed to be. Meaning, we live like those men live. We deal with God the way they dealt with God. Do you understand what that means? We got to deal with God the way our father dealt with God. We got to get that bond. We got to get closer. That confident, that sure ability, that belief is out the window. He said, man, it went beyond belief. He knew it. When you believe something, it's beyond belief now. It's like, oh wow, God said this, my father said my mother. Oh yeah, well look, if he said it, it's gonna happen. If he said he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. If God said I'm gonna have kids 1,000 years from now, I'm gonna have it.
That's right.
So all right, cool. Whatever you want me to do, let's go. Yeah. That's how Abraham did it. Abraham showed the example of not making your life complicated with God.
That's right. Yeah.
We make our lives complicated with God. Okay? God said, yo, man, kill your son. Your only son. Now we know, look, by these examples, we know God ain't going to give you something.
Right.
And it die.
Yeah, we give you something that is last.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's why the woman said, man, you deceived me, man.
That's right.
You told me
that
this is a blessing. Yeah. He ain't supposed to die.
Yeah, I'm supposed to leave that first.
And that's why God allowed Elijah to power up and bring that boy back. Tell me that's a lie. Tell me that's a lie. That boy came back from the dead. He was dead. He was cold. I know what a body feels like when it's dead. It feels like ice. It feels like meat, frozen meat in the freezer, damp and wet. That boy was gone. He said, go up in there and do this, do that, do the guys. He went up and did that. He said, yo, man, that boy dead. There's no life, no signs, no reaction, no nothing. He went up in there and got him back because God's word don't fall. And the prophet said it. The prophet of the Lord said it. That's God's word. They only speak what God say.
That's right.
That's what they didn't understand.
Right.
Don't get mad at me. God told me to come and tell you this. I don't know you. I'm sorry. But hey, thus saith the Lord. And people got killed on that.
That's right.
They got emotional, got killed. Look. They got told to go to kings and rebuke kings in the name of God. And one king said, I have sinned. Mm-hmm. And that's David. That's why everybody was supposed to walk in his footsteps. Mm-hmm. You know what they didn't do? They didn't say I have sinned. They said, grab him, seize him. No. He's speaking against me, speaking against the king in my hierarchy, and did all of this Greek stuff. They started thinking and moving like Greeks.
That's right.
Why? God said, I'm your king. You rejected me. I'm going to just finish this up because all of this was going through my head while we was reading. He said, yo, I'm your king. That's why he told Samuel, you rejected me. They rejected me. I'm their king. I moved amongst them. I'm their king. They didn't need nobody in the flesh on the throne.
That's right.
But God knew they was going to come to it. That's why thousands of years, hundreds of years before, in the law, he said, yo, when y'all decide to make a king, because it's going to happen, y'all can't make a king out of a foreigner or a stranger. As if he's one of your own, preferably out of the lineage of the son of Yaakov, which is Judah. And now I'm reading, right? I'm reading, and it seems that Judah knew how to take charge, and he knew how to talk to people. He knew how to talk to his father.
Right.
He knew how to, because Reuben said the wrong thing. He was being slay my two sons of him. No. Judah said the right thing.
Yeah.
I will be to blame. This will be on me.
That's right.
He put the responsibility, and he took the courage. It takes courage to say, look, man, if anything go wrong here, it's on me. You can say, man, I don't care what Mick said. I'm still going to go do this and jam it. It's still, I can't say, well, man, I didn't know Abraham did it. It's still on me because it came out my mouth. That was an oath. Right. And Jacob respected that. He said, man, listen, hold on. Slay your two sons. I'm trying to save. Oh, I'm supposed to kill my son's sons now? I'm losing sons. So that wasn't, but Judah said the right thing. He said, well, he sit back, he hear what everybody got to say. This is what a king do. This is what a leader do. This is one who takes charge. These are attributes of. That's why it was always said, look, Judah, let Judah lead. Because whatever the situation, he's going to know how to, yo, listen, hold on. Be easy for a minute. Let me talk to this guy. He said, yo, can I speak to you? Sometimes don't we do that? One of us be like, wait a minute, hold up. My brother's is too hot right now. One be like, yo, speak to the one in charge. That's what Judah did. And he got through to him. And that made Joseph break down.
Right.
That's what made him, he couldn't take it no more. And Joseph, when Judah, he didn't just tell him that. He said, listen, man, you got to understand. And so he went in his house. He said, you got to understand what's going to happen in my father's house and with my father if this go down. This guy's lame. He's Bluetooth. See how you Bluetooth? You Bluetooth your phone to this thing. And last night I said, what's SRX70X? You said that's the speaker. It got linked. I can't link up with nothing else. Nothing could be done unless the link is broken. What you doing is unlinking him. And that's going to kill this man. So, yeah, we have people in our lives, right, that our lives are more than dependent on. If something happened to this one here, oh, man.
That's right.
We all have children. We all love our children. We all love our children. Right. But this guy was in a special situation. His mother is gone. These guys still got their mother and they're older. You understand what I'm saying? This guy's still young. And his younger brother, oh no, I ain't letting him go nowhere, man. I don't blame the man. I wouldn't have let him go, but we all gonna die. We all gonna stay here and die. They never coming back. No. If they go without him, they're not coming back. No. And all the man wanted to do was see his little brother. That's it. That's what that was about.
And his father.
And then look, I know I'm good. Tell him come down. Don't put that down. Get the wagons. Get up in there here. Get us to RV. Get us to him. This for y'all on the way. Tell him drive there and come down here. Because we still got 5 more years.
Right on time. You only did 2.
See, that's the thing. Jacob said, "Oh, okay, yeah, all this is of God." So the walking of Israel and covering the ground has been done. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? Remember when he told Abraham, "Walk the breadth, walk the whole breadth and length of this." It's done now. Now it's drama time. Canaanites, it's drama time. You can't be here. I have to make it good with your son over here in Egypt because there was a time in Egypt where it was plenteous. Everything did grow. It wasn't a total desert land the way we know it now. A lot of places that we know that's dry and desert was green.
That's right.
A lot of Israel, when you look at it, it looked dry, don't it? A lot of places in Israel look dry. Didn't look like that back then. It was, things grew wild. He said, man, where are the leeks and the cucumbers? They didn't farm these things. There was no farm of cucumbers.
No.
You had that personally in your garden patch. Like, who had that? King. Ahab. He had a garden.
They got the vegetables.
Of vegetables. But you didn't go out there and say, all you saw was wheat or barley or corn or rye. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Grains. That's mostly what they farmed. That's what was plowed. They didn't have to worry. And vineyards.
Everybody had garden vegetables.
And vineyards. And everybody didn't have that. That's why them things were special. So he walked that whole breadth of Israel already. So there's nowhere else to walk. It's dangerous times. Snatch him out of there. This is how they got into Egypt.
That's right.
That's why they wound up in the land of Goshen. As you can see in Exodus, in Moses' time, it's 400 years later, they're in Goshen.
Right.
Well protected. This was the setup of God. This is the setup of God, how Israel's going to become a royal dependent nation. Okay, Tamshi, 46.
46. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices to the God of his father Yitzchak.
And notice that Joseph said, the God of your father. He never blessed his father, even though he was acting like he was an Egyptian.
No.
He didn't bless his father in the name of those idols that they had in Egypt.
No.
Right.
He knew who he was.
That's right.
All right? He knew who he was.
And he knew
why he was there.
He knew God.
Okay?
Take time.
Understood that.
So there were certain things he didn't do, even though he was Egyptian.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to work on Shabbat. I don't have to do this. Plus, I run it, so that's my day off.
He wasn't serving.
That's God put him in that position. He wasn't serving their gods. He wasn't divinating. As you can see, it was all a setup. He told the man to say this because amongst the Egyptians, they can't find out what's going on. They go to divination.
Yeah.
They don't have Urim and Thummim. They don't have a high priest of God with a breastplate that just light up.
Right.
That just light up in front of the culprit or, or the one chosen. They didn't have that. That's why God said, I did not suffer you guys to be like the Egyptians. You don't have to burn dead bodies and candles and do abominable acts that's against the laws, like drinking blood and eating your food with the blood. See, this is why God said, get rid of the blood out of your flesh. You may not eat the blood with the flesh because the blood is the life. Pour it on the ground. Being that you are not pouring nothing on the ground. You're getting it from people who don't serve God. You are getting your flesh, your meat from people who don't serve God. They eat with the blood and the fat and everything else that you say you don't eat. So take this out. When you get it, soak it. Soak it. You know when all the blood is out.
That's right.
You know. You know. I don't want to hear about 6 minutes. I don't want to hear about 18 minutes. I don't want to hear the Lubavitch or Rabbi Law. I don't want to hear none of that because that's Judaism. A lot of Israelites need to stop following Judaism. It's a new day now to follow Judaism with Israelites. Okay? All right? They're supposed to be following us. That is a religion made out of the Tanakh. It is a religion that was made out of Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Hebrewism. Zoroastrianism comes from divinity of the Persians, astrology and astronomy. Okay? And all that makes Judaism.
That's right.
You got a little bit of Hebrewism. You got a little bit. You got some of that in here. Right? But it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same procedure. It's not the way God said to do it. It has been altered and modified with Christianity and Zoroastrianism. That's why they also have the Kabbalah. Okay? The Kabbalah, which is rituals of the supernatural, aka witchcraft, magic, sorcery. All these things are not of the Most High God. God said for them to stay. He told these people to stay away from that stuff.
Mythology is not of God either.
Say that again?
Mythology.
All the ologies, all of that stuff is out of the window.
Scientology.
God said, do away with my. Let me tell you something. You know, Egypt was into all of that. Egypt started Scientology. Egypt started astronomy. Egypt was at the beginning with the Chaldeans, with the signs and the zodiacs and all that. They the ones that started that.
First world power, man.
First world power. They the ones that, you wear this around your neck and it'll save you from demons. They came up with these things because they were sorcerers. And the sorcerer can't rely on God to protect them because your life is full of abominations. You have to do abominable things, eat abominable things. You have to be unclean. You have to do all these things in order to get that power, in order to get that sight, in order to get that. You connect with the devil.
That's right.
You connect with demons. Okay? And that's what they're doing today. Okay? The people who don't know, you go to McDonald's and get a burger and eat it from there. And the people, I don't eat McDonald's, I'm Israelite. You go to Khag and get a cheeseburger from there. The Israelites not supposed to be eating no meat from nobody. That's why we don't eat flesh. Okay? Because first of all, how do you know how the animal died? According to the law, organic defects. Okay? How do I know that this animal was healthy by God's law, by God's standard to eat? They couldn't sacrifice animals that were sick of themselves or had a defect. A defect is a disease.
Right.
That's all it means. They have a disease. Something's wrong with them. Why would you want to eat that? That's what the Canaanites did.
Yeah.
And the way of the Canaanites is all over this world.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Teach.
You're not supposed to be eating that.
No, that's right.
Do you know how to check for a deer to see if it has scurvy? You know what scurvy is? You know, animals have their own type of sicknesses.
Eyes, nose, and tongue.
Okay? They have diseases also.
Yes, sir.
They have diseases in the brain that they eat their brain up, make them go rabid.
Teach.
Okay? You have some that get hoof disease. You got some, you check their gums are bleeding. That means they have a deficiency of calcium. All types of stuff going on with these animals too. That's why God said, look, don't bring none of these animals that got these defects and sacrifice it to me, or she's going to die. No. Plague going to break out. That's violation. Let alone he ain't going to tell you, don't bring them to me and sacrifice it to me. And then tell you to eat. You can eat them.
Give it to your governor.
He said, give it to your governor.
See if he like it.
You know why he said that? Because you die. You would die. You give me, I'm the governor. You mocking me. You mocking me. Hey, the governor, yes, and I got 10 she-asses here. It's 10 goats here. And when I look, the goats are sick. The goats are sick. They got mucus coming down their nose. And it's dry weather. One of them walking, got a broken. I'm gonna look. Man, you mocking me. You going in the dungeon, or I'm gonna execute you.
Take time.
Or I'm gonna take everything you own and leave you out there. They do that. They take everything you own and leave you. That's why God said, take it to your governor and see if he'll like it. The governor, he ain't God, I'm God. But your governor won't like it either. And he ain't right. And he gonna take that as an insult. What you think I'm gonna do to you, don't bring that to me. That's why I said, look, forget the sacrifices. Forget your sacrifices. He said, away with your sacrifices, away with your Sabbaths, away with your feast days, because y'all ain't doing none of it right.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't doing none of it right. Nobody want to do exactly what it says in the book. Oh, but over the course of time, the language, and it's been listen, thou shalt not steal means thou shalt not steal.
That's right.
Okay? Remember the Shabbat day means remember the Shabbat day. Okay? Thou shalt not means thou shalt not. And if means and if so, then you do this. That's how the law go. Why you make your life complicated with God? Again, at the beginning statement that I made, you make your life with God complicated. Yeah, full of drama. Because all you got to do is do exactly what he's saying.
Right.
Time sheet.
Genesis 46, verse 2. Another he spoke to Israel in the visions of the night and said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am Elohim, the El of thy father. Fear not to go down to Mitzrayim.
God already know why Jacob appeared to Beersheba. He didn't immediately say, okay, let me go. My son won $100 million. He told me he want all of us to come out because that what Barbara would.
Right.
That's it. I ain't got where we good.
Right.
One of my kids want all this, and they got land. They got man. Come on, that's how it goes. Even these rappers, as soon as they get $1 million, what they do? They buy a house for who? Not them. They buy a house for who? Mama. Yeah. Because most of them only have mamas in the house. Mama get a house. That's the automatic rule in the rap world. That I can understand. I mean, come on. You can't just get it. And your parents ain't got nothing. Your parents in the house ain't got no food.
Right.
And you getting it? She not eating, he not eating, and you getting it? Your kids eating, your woman eating. What is that? That's why he said, pull up, tell Holly, pull up. He gotta come get this. Ain't nothing over there. That's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be. And I see heathens do that on a regular.
Yeah, they moms.
They say, well, look, they look at the head and say, well, look, man, I take your family getting taken care of first. Who's there with the basketball star in college when he get drafted? You see mommy and daddy there. You see little bro there. You see the family there. The parents be there. You got to carry them with you in your success.
That's right.
They get this through you. They get this. I mean, come on. You can't cut them off. How you getting it and your father not eating? Your father's stomach is starving. Your mother's starving. My cabinet's full. Your cabinet's full. My fridge full. Your fridge full. No. Your fridge full first. And then I deal with me. That's how you honor your father and your mother. They come first, and then you deal with you and your family, your house, your business, whatever you got. That's how it goes. And until you get that right, you will never get right with God. You will never be able to see other things where you can correct yourself in life because you ain't did the first thing God said. Honor your father and your mother. Right. He said that first before the Shabbat. You know why? You don't know the Shabbat when you their age. You learning it. You don't know it when you're this age. Honor them, man.
That's right.
You show the same sacrifice that they show for you. That's the honor. In deed, in word, in commitment, in bond, in everything. Give it to them. You know why? And when you give it to somebody else that God said don't give it to, they bone you, they jerk you. Yep. They're going to do you dirty. Yep. She going to leave you. Yep. She going to leave you stranded. He going to leave you. They going to stop messing with you. They going to find fault with you. Because you put your heart where God said don't put it. You put your honor where God said don't put it.
Hey.
They honor other days more than they honor the Shabbat. Okay. People honor their birthday more than they honor the Shabbat.
People honor their woman.
They honor their woman more than they honor their father and their mother. What's up? God tell us who to honor. He tell us what to hate. He tell us who and what to love. He tell us what's an abomination. And we need to start paying attention to that.
I had to come up front for this one.
We have to start paying attention to that one, man.
Talk about it, brother.
Seriously. Listen.
Talk about it, brother.
You see here? He made sure. He said, yo, come
talk about it, brother.
This. God put me here. Y'all, he told his brothers. so you and your little ones can live, so I can look out for my nieces and nephews. It's not just me.
Yeah.
I win, we win.
That's right.
Okay? That was his, he always looked at it that way. God put me in this position that when he didn't look at it that way, that's when pride set in. Oh man. Now look, yeah, I remember what you said when I ain't had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was down, my bad.
You start, he did not have that. These are the ways. He said, look, man, don't worry about all that. God made all of this happen.
Yeah, he said, don't worry about it. God did that.
I know, man, but you know what? Let me tell you, Jacob's sons are honorable boys, man. They honorable.
Oh, yeah.
Men.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
take nothing away from them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm reading, while we reading
That's a
this,
fact.
you know what I'm saying in my head?
That's a fact.
They ain't doing this of their own mind. Yeah, they felt a little way, but to take it to them lengths, they had to take it to them lengths for him to get grabbed up and go. As you can see, they didn't get to sell him. They didn't get to kill him. Reuben didn't get to get him out and get him back to his father. He had to go to Egypt. That's why God said, look, man, Dad, Reuben, you got the right mind, right? But he got to go. So I'm going to let these Israelites get there before him. So when he get there, think about it. You, Reuben, when you get there, you like this. Yeah, he's not here, but he's not with them. That's why he said, man, I can't go home. Because now it's a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he said, yo, so where he not with him? He wasn't with you. Where he at? Yo, you feel real stupid when you're telling your father or your mother, I don't know. You should feel real stupid. You did. I don't know. You well, go find out.
That's right.
Yo, man, that's your commanding. Yo, that's your president, your commanding officer, your master, your father and your mother. Treat them like that, man.
That's right.
He said, shall I and my mother? He didn't say shall. He said the brothers too, but who he said first? Me and you, we don't bow you. Period.
Right.
So this is a switch around. Right. And I see where today, I don't see parents physically bowing, but they bow to the children's will.
That's right.
They let their children have too much going on. That's what's going on. And you children take to it. Y'all don't even say, well, nah, man. Let me pipe down.
Right.
You don't even see that they being so easy with you. What you really deserve. You're too spoiled. And you grow up in spoiled young men into grown spoiled men. And that's why you can't do this commandment, because this is about someone telling you what to do and what not to do. And if you can't do it with your mother and father, how can you listen to God when God tell you not to even love this?
I've always said that.
How you
gonna listen to me? That's what you want to do.
You ain't gonna listen to God. You ain't listen to your parents, man.
Always say that.
So if God was here, if God was here, you would do him worse. You would neglect him. You would leave him here.
That's why he said, I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you.
And say, yo, he said, I wouldn't even tell you. I ain't relying on you. If I was the type to get, but even God don't get hungry. But he said, in other words, if I was in a position to need your help, I wouldn't tell you.
Cattle on Thousand Hill belongs to
I'm gonna no. I'm gonna handle that.
That's right.
And either, look, like I told one man, I said, yo, I said, God made me a God, and I have the power to change what my woman do. That's what I told this dude. I said, yo, let your one woman know, and I'm gonna let my woman. He said, yeah, let you go. I said, no, make sure you let your woman know. Don't worry about mine. Mine's is covered. Mine's is covered. He said, oh yeah. I said, yeah. Because I command mines, or it's gonna be a problem. I don't care who feel the way. And that's the only, you see how I get when I get on that subject? You know why? Because of experience. I'm speaking out of experience. You cannot command your household being nice. You ain't commanding nothing being nice.
Facts.
That's why everybody running all over Biden. Okay? I don't want nobody to do too much like the other guy, but we need somebody to do something.
Yeah.
Biden's sleeping. We're sleeping. We don't want nobody like that. Come on, man. Come on with this, man. Wake up. Do's and don'ts here. If you don't get it right with who you have in front of you, yo, man, listen, get it before you miss them. Or get it before they have to miss you.
Okay.
Think about it. I've seen many parents bury their sons and their daughters because they did not listen to God. Specifically, I know people that direct commands came from their parents about a situation. They did not listen, and they are dead. They died. Grown men, gangsters, dead. A simple order that you would say simple, but it's not simple when it's coming from mommy and daddy. So how can I listen to God? God tell me to control my desire and lust. How am I going to listen to that when God told me I can't do what I want, when I want, how I want? Because that's what it's all about with the children.
That's right.
Everybody want to grow up quick.
That's right.
Everybody want to live. They think they're proving something to themselves in this society. I got my own crib. I got my car. I got 401k. You ain't got it when you die. You're gonna die. You don't have it when you die. You're going to die. Okay? You're going to die. I tried to find the word fun. You know the word fun, F-U-N? It's not in the book. Not even amongst the most evilest idol worshippers. That word fun does not exist. And if it does, it goes up under being a fool. Folly. And folly is wickedness. So fun, a lot of things we say is fun, is God said, look what this guy doing. Look what he doing. Look what they doing. It's wickedness. Fun is something to make you go, that's it. That's all fun is.
Fun is evil, man.
That's all fun is.
It's not in the book.
That's crazy.
It's not in the book. I looked it up. I tried to find it. The word fun does not exist.
Fun is a Torah.
That thing don't exist. It said you shall delight yourself. Be content that you are doing what God said. That's where your happiness is a different happiness. It's a different joy. It's a different delight. This is something you're going to get later after accomplishing. Because the happiness we got now is not for this. We get happy for other things. And that's what God is talking about.
You get happy for wickedness.
Think you on the right board. Not. God said, yo, you got to drop all that stuff in Egypt. Get this here. They didn't get it.
You get so happy when the Yankees win the championship. You stupid. What's wrong with you? I'm talking about myself.
No. These are the things I'm talking about. The things that get us so elated has nothing to do with God.
That's the fun.
Let's admit it.
That's the fun part.
Let's admit it. I'm not saying that nothing that I ain't see in myself. What do you get happy about, man? Compare it to the things that you get happy for in here. And you're going to see the things that you get happy for in here is low. It's low. Be truthful with yourself so you can correct it.
Just like the nations around us.
What gets you excited? What make you go, when you hear a hard track, hard song? And what he talking about? How he gonna kill this dude, rob him, and do this, and take his mama, and we hear it over. Boom, boom, ah, we go, we gotta really dig into this, man. Yo, we become like the Romans, man. We're bloodthirsty and cold-hearted with each other. He said, man, and these are the people. These are the people, right? God said, man, they ain't had no heart. He said, I gotta take your heart of stone. He said, when I do this whole thing over, I'm gonna give you a heart of flesh. I'm gonna put the law in it. After all this, so after everything, God gonna give Israel, and he bring his elect back. You don't have to believe it. When he bring his elect ones back and David sit on the throne again, like God said, it's not a metaphor.
That's ridiculous.
It's not a metaphor. When Aaron will be the high priest again, it's not a metaphor. All right? When that go down, he said they gonna, oh, everybody who come back, who be there, he gonna put their heart, he gonna give them a heart of flesh. Meaning you're gonna have compassion, you're gonna have love for God
and His Lord.
And His laws. And for everyone who lives the same way as you. Yeah. When somebody says, thus saith the Lord, you ain't gonna want to kill them.
Take the eyes out.
That's the heart that he's talking about. Tamshi.
And Elohim spoke to Israel in the visions of the night and said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, here I am. And he said, I am the El thy father. Fear not to go down to Mitzrayim, for I will there make of thee a great nation.
I know he came to make clearance. Hold on, let me go and check with God. God did not command me to leave Canaan and go nowhere. All right?
Right.
So he's checking. God told him, yo, go. He said, fear not to go down into Egypt. Don't worry about going down there. You're going to be good. He said, I will make of thee a great nation. You see, the nation of Israel, when God, by the time God pulled them out, they were countless. They were countless nation. You couldn't count them. All right? There was no consensus with these people. 70 souls went in, millions and millions came out. 400 years later.
Over 500,000 soldiers.
Just alone. Just the infantry alone is over 500,000. Tamshi.
I will go down with thee into Mitzrayim, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand on thy eyes.
He said, I'm going to go down with you. I'm going to be down there with you. Boy, I got you. I'm going to hold you down. Same way I hold you down here, and I put the dread and the fear on these people. I'm going down in Egypt with you, boy. I got you. Whole family. That way, when all the things that go down later on in Egypt, it ain't touching Goshen.
Right.
Nah, nothing.
Don't go nowhere.
Nothing.
They didn't have to put a wall up.
Nah.
They didn't have to put blood nowhere, nothing. It just didn't go there. So it looked like there was a wall. Because it's like an imaginary line. Ooh, the lights don't go here. Goshen. Light and darkness. Can you grab that? Can you grab the light? Ridiculous. Can you grab light? Can you grab darkness? Is it something tangible?
Goshen was in.
Elohim could do that.
Goshen was in Egypt, man. And it was
in thick darkness.
And not in Goshen. Not in Goshen.
But not in Goshen.
What? Goshen had lights.
What?
The command of God is serious, man. That's why I down science. Yeah, because if God said he don't want gravity in the middle of this living room, it won't be no gravity in the middle of the room. And how you gonna explain that? Science can't explain that, but the word of God can. Oh man, God is the word of God. Oh, the word of God. That's it.
Yep.
That's an acceptance.
Yeah.
Science, too much questions. Well, how does mitrons and Brooklyn, whatever you want to call it, they working, they doing what God say do.
Amen.
They're doing what God, the atoms doing what, whatever you want to call it, is doing what God say.
Amen.
How about that? Start trying to figure out how it works because you're not going to be able to twerk it. They trying. They trying. Tamshi.
Yaakov rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Yaakov, their father, and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan.
Everything that they own.
And came to Mitzrayim. And Yaakov and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him to Mitzrayim. And these are the names of the children of Israel.
Go down to verse 25.
These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, and she bare these to Yaakov. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Yaakov into Mitzrayim, who came out of his loins, beside Yaakov's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, who were born to him in Mitzrayim, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Yaakov who came into Mitzrayim were 70. And he sent Yehuda before him to Joseph to show him the way, before him. He
sent Judah before him. There's always Judah. Judah's the point man. He's always the point man. He's always there.
That leadership.
That's why the kings come out of Judah. That quality of kings, of royalty. He said the scepter. Right?
Right.
The scepter, who holds the scepter?
Right.
Your kings. So he said all royalty gonna come out of these guys, and the government will be centralized around this tribe. So that was his thing, that was his job. So he went before them to guide the way, to direct his space unto Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen.
Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented himself to him. And he fell on his
He said, Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet his father Israel to Goshen. He presented himself to his father. That's another key.
Right.
You can't come in the house and not present yourself.
That's right.
Nigga be in the crib for 2 hours, ain't even gonna check
You
your
can't
water.
leave. You have to announce yourself going and coming. Let them know that. Nah, you was never checking that. That's another key there. But for you to do all of this, you gotta be around them.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have to be around them. I don't want to hear I'm a good kid.
Say it again, brother.
Okay? But for the past 30 years, I haven't been around my parents.
Say it again, brother. You think
You know,
that's good?
that's not good.
That's
You have
not
to complete.
good.
Your streak stopped.
It's not
You know, that
good.
streak stopped, right? You gotta be around, man. Or look. Or be frequent. Your face gotta be frequent. Make your face frequent. I understand. This is a different, not everybody owns lands and stuff like that. But make yourself frequent.
That's right.
That's all, man. Make yourself frequent. It is the godly way. It's the way of our forefathers. That's how they got down. Tamshi.
And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said to Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art still alive.
Yo, it comes in a man's time, especially godly man, may be ready to go. And we don't be understanding that sometimes. Because here in the physical, we miss each other. And that's somebody who you can't get a replacement. You're never going to get that replacement with. You understand what I'm saying? But I understand the godly as I get older. You come to a time when, I've been doing everything God said for years. That's why they say, yo, I'm ready to go now. That's why he say, yo, I saw my son, I could die now. I'm ready to go. Death is the part of life. Unfortunately, that's how it was made since Adam ate of that tree. So we got to do the right thing before we get up out of here, man. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem.
Remember, as soon as the sun goes down, it goes right into the Shabbat.
Double.
Yo, Jama, which one?
Yes, sir.